Hello, welcome to July 18th, 2023. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. This is an exercise that I do every morning, a little bit after waking up. Today it's 5:02 a.m. Wow, it's pretty rare that I'm doing this after 5. I slept in for half an hour this morning, which set everything back 30 minutes. Wow, sleeping in. It's like the second time I've done that this week. Fancy that. Anyway, I do this exercise to remember my life objectives and meaning and principles, that is, those that are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any challenges or opportunities, especially the unexpected, that I met, utilizing my principles to better achieve my objectives. And then I conclude by reflecting on the coming day, thinking about where I can do the same. But first, a poem from John Keats. First we'll read yesterday's poem, and then I'm going to skip a poem, and then we'll read something new. Yesterday's poem was God of the Meridian, which we studied yesterday, learned all the new words, and now we'll just give it one last read through, let it stew in the mind for 24 hours. God of the Meridian, and of the east and west, to thee my soul is flown, and my body is earthward pressed. It is an awful mission, a terrible division, and leaves a gulf austere, to be filled with worldly fear. Aye, when the soul is fled to high above our head, affrighted do we gaze after its airy maze, as doth a mother wild when her young infant child is in an eagle's claws. And is not this the cause of madness? God of song, thou bearest me along through sighs, through sighs I scarce can bear. Oh, let me share with the hot lyre and thee the staid philosophy. Temper my lonely hours, and let me see thy bowers more unalarmed. So it seems to be preparation for death, making and pleading with God for readiness to span that awful gulf. The next poem is Robin Hood. Now remember, the poems in this book are in chronological order, in the order in which John Keats wrote them. The next is Robin Hood, which I would like to read, but it's very long, and I've already started late, so I skipped that one. And I'm going to read instead a poem called Lines on the Mermaid Tavern, which have a couple of items of vocabulary that I knew, but, well, one I knew, but the other didn't. One I knew, but I needed to understand better. I kind of understood it. The first word was Elysium. I kind of knew that I really wasn't sure, but I thought it meant someplace special. I had to look it up. It means a place of perfect. Well, it can mean two things. In the classical Greek sense, it's a reserved space in heaven, so to speak, in the afterlife for heroes and poets. In more contemporary at the time this was written, and maybe even now, the meaning means a place of perfect happiness. Maybe most likely in an afterlife, but maybe even in the here and now. Elysium. The other term I didn't know at all was Mermaid Tavern, so I had to look it up. Turns out it's a place, dates from the 15th and 16th century in England. I think it's on Bread Street, which is now like in the financial district. It was a building that was a pub where a society of men would meet, poets. I think they were all men, poets and writers, and drink. And it kind of became, it would have been like the place to be if you were a writer. Shakespeare is alleged to have been there, but that's probably a myth. A lot of noteworthy names of the time. So the Mermaid Tavern. So these are lines about the Mermaid Tavern. Here we go. Was there any other word? Oh, smack. There's a word here, smack, that I had to look it up because the line here is, and pledging with contented smack. And I thought, what does that mean? So like a smacking the lips? It turns out in that time it meant either to hit something, like maybe a contented smack. It also means, and I don't think this is the meaning, but at the time it meant a slight favor that suggests a slight flavor that suggests something. So maybe a little flavor in your mouth that suggests a touch of rosemary. but I don't think that's the meaning. I think this hits a smack of satisfaction. Let's read the poem. Lines on the Mermaid Tavern. Souls of poets dead and gone, what Elysium have ye known? Happy fields or mossy cavern, choicer than the mermaid's tavern? Have ye tippled drink more fine than mine host's canary wine? Or are fruits of paradise sweeter than those dainty pies of venison? O generous food, dressed as though bold Robin Hood would with his maid Marian sup and browse from horn and can. I have heard that on a day mine host's signboard flew away. Nobody knew whither till an astrologer's old quill to a sheepskin gave the story. Said he saw you in your glory underneath a new old sign, sipping beverage divine, and pledging with a contented smack the mermaid in the zodiac. Souls of poets dead and gone, what Elysium have you known? Happy field or mossy cavern, choicer than the mermaid tavern. Very nice, very nice. Can you just picture the site of that place? This is Keats several hundred years later, reflecting on how the Mermaid Tavern, that must have been quite a place with all those writers and poets. Okay, enough of that. Let's do the good life. First, last night and yesterday, I slept all right. Nothing of note, though I did sleep in, which is interesting. It's real hot everywhere, but here, really glad we chose Huntington Beach. I know it'll get warmer still, but we don't have air conditioning in this place, nor does it seem we need it. Just opening the windows, letting the cool breeze, the ocean breeze go through does the job. So I sleeping well at night. Good day yesterday. I had one meeting that, I won't give details, one meeting where I could have restrained myself a little bit. I let my emotion drive my words, and I didn't say anything bad, and I didn't do anything bad, but I was a little less than the professional man that I would like to be, or maybe I should say more the man of self-control that I would wish to be. Lesson learned on that front. I'll do better. I have more meetings of the like this week. I'll do better in those. Nothing else. The good life. 7 objectives as follows. First, to be always ready to die. To make good and effective use of my time. To develop and maintain good and sound life principles. To cultivate good emotional reactions. To perform good actions. To recognize my true limits and my true opportunity. And to do just one thing at a time. And do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. Let's do the principles and let's see if we can make measure of our numbers. 34 is our goal. My goal. Principles are war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, atomic purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, the social principle, the principle of family, public speaking, temperance, that life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be borne, the feast of offal, distraction, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, and the principle of fun. It's the second grouping below. 34. I almost missed the public speaking, didn't I? That's one of the ones I think I probably missed. That and the principle of family sometimes. And I think I got them all in the right order too. All right, so now what do I do with today? Don't have too many meetings today, just a couple in the morning. Today's a pretty clear day, but I have my work cut out for me. One of my projects is coming to an end, my big project. One of the ones I got hired for. And so I'm going to build out the project closure documentation, prepare for the project closure meeting. Yeah, it's going to be good. The project went well. I can finish this project. I can finish my dang career going out well. I've got another year, still have another year and a half. So, but I've completed all the things that I was, with completion of this project, I will be completing successfully all of the things that I was hired for my current job to do. So the rest, it's not that it's a glide path, but it's like the hard work is done. The big C is crossed. Everything now is relatively small C's. It's good. I'm good. I can see the end. I can see the end of my career, my working life. It doesn't mean I don't have a lot to do. I do, but it's going to be my stuff now. Okay, am I ready to die? Are my things in order? Yes, they are. My affairs are in order. Are my relationships sound? Yes, they are. Is my life's work complete? Yes, it is. Done, but not finished, as I like to say. So yeah, I'm ready to die. So bring on the day. Everything after this moment is bonus. And with that, let's end. Be safe, but not too safe. And with that, my life is done, if not finished. See ya.